Alright, it's time for another late night video where I drop you sauce. Alright, I'm gonna refresh just so you know. These are my results. Done over $1.2 million in revenue. Prior to my break, took a massive break. I'm back in the game. We're actively scaling, and I'm sharing every single bit apart my journey, about my learnings, about where I'm gonna get to where I'm be, my dreams, my goals, my ambition, what got me here, how God played a role, and why you need to be learning from me, okay, if you're trying to achieve your goals. And that's not because of who I am, it's because of who God is to me. Okay. Please do not get don't get like dopaminergic on me. All right. Today we're gonna be talking about ego and how it is the greatest enemy, and how I started living when I finally decided to kill my ego, because everything stemmed from there. A lot of people take their ego and they extract a lot of energy from it, and they learn how to like build themselves up in such a way, this perception of themselves, this value of themselves, to where they just draw like infinite amounts of energy. Let me tell you, you're bound to fail if you rely on the ego instead of relying on the spirit. And this is because it ties into four main categories: laziness, entitlement, delusion, and fear. This all comes from the perception you have of yourself. Okay, today I really want to go into fear and courage, and how fear really just doesn't exist, right? We have to understand that like we aren't face to face with death on a day-to-day basis. Like, a lot of you guys are in the United States, or if you're not in the United States, you're in a country where you're inside, you have heat, you have air conditioning, and if you don't, I'm sorry, but you're watching this video somehow, so you're blessed beyond belief. You have access to an infinitude of resources, connections, availability at your fingertips. So it's like, what could you possibly be afraid of? Like, you have opportunity literally given to you on a silver platter. Like, the only thing stopping you from your goals is your fear. But you have to understand that, like, if you're trying to reach your goals and you're watching this video, which means you're going to have to take that step regardless eventually. And the only way to do it is to die to your ego, because your ego doesn't want you to grow. Your ego actually doesn't want you to be uncomfortable, because when you face discomfort, you face the reality with yourself. And the reality is that you're not where you want to be. The reality is that you're not as great as you think you are. And so when you start taking those steps of growth, you start facing the truth of reality, and then you become afraid. Right? But that fear is unmerited. You're not gonna die. The only thing that's gonna die is your ego. It's your pride. It's your perception of yourself. And your ego would rather you be comfortable than for it to die. For the spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. And there is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. God is love. God has a perfect unconditional love over us. There is absolutely no reason for you to be afraid when it comes to doing the work that God has commanded you to be, or commanded you to do. Instead, courage. The Lord literally says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." A lot of this time we read these kind of verses or hear these kind of things, and we're just like, "Oh man, that's encouraging." You have to understand, this is not encouragement. This is a command. And that is encouraging, but this is a command. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous, non-negotiable, right? We have to understand the incredible greatness of God's power for us who believe in him, the same power that raised Christ from the dead and seated him in a place of honor at God's right hand, that lives within us. This is what we learn about, okay, when we read the Bible or when we talk religiously. We're seeing David against Goliaths. We're seeing Daniel face to face with lions in the lion's den. We're seeing Jacob literally wrestle with God. We're seeing Samson rip apart beasts at the seams. This is courage. This is power. This is what it means to be fearless. This is the spirit of conquest, in love, through love, by love, for the people. David didn't do this out of pride. He did this for his people. He did this because he was called to do it. That is the victorious spirit that lives within us. You must die to the ego. You must die to your fear, and you have no choice but to take up the crown of courage and to slay Goliath, to be bold in the presence of lions, to wrestle with God, and to rip apart the beast at the jaw. I'm going to talk more about this, I'm sure, in other videos, but you have no option but to be courageous. If you have a goal and God has placed it on your heart, you have no other choice but to see it through. How does this relate to ecom? Ecom to me is a vessel. I do this because my dreams are far beyond, like, I can barely, if I think about it too much, I'm gonna be overwhelmed. But that's how I need to dream. I have to be semi delusional because that's the spirit that God has given me. I'm just being honest. And for me to do that, I need to fund this mission. I need money to do this. And I'm just being honest with you. That's why ecom, I went to it. I was like, how do I make the most amount of money with the smallest amount of inputs? And ecom is that. It's a ridiculous point of leverage where you put in, like, let's say you have a 10 to like a million. It's ratio. The ratio is incredible. And I do this so that I can tell more people, I can inspire more people, I can get more like-minded people together, and we can just grow and build something that's sustainable and change the world around us. More videos to come. DM me if you need help. Talk to you guys soon.